You know, it's the credits that I should talk for. I just, I'm a little focused. I'm happy to have this game finished, though. I can finally move on to the next one. Oh god, I let her get hit. I couldn't tell if they were only going after me or if they would go after her. It was kind of hard to tell. Unless it's supposed to do that, unless it's a scripted thing, but so I don't. My mind's also just a little has been running a little blank today. They're just gonna stand, look at each other, across the. That was a very different song. I don't, because I know there's some people that I think really dislike this game, and to an extent I can see it. Just kind of to do with the somewhat lazy inclusion of Dante, in the sense of you know, his missions just being Nero's in reverse. Wait, oh, I could shift the camera around a little bit, that's funny. I hope this song isn't copyrighted. I would assume not, but it could be. I'm assuming this was written particular for this game. Oh, he's finally gonna walk. He got tired of just standing over there. Oh my goodness, my legs. Easy does it. I'm sorry, what did that say at the end? Prequel something doesn't mean it's over? Gallery can now be selected. Game clear bonus art has been added. History of DMC has been added. If I didn't have that frickin' continue. For a little over 4.5 hours. like this. You can feel the things. I never did use the Aegis Shield like once. You know what game has enemies that kind of remind me of this? Super Smash Bros. Brawl, the like campaign thing, Subspace Emissary. I always enjoy these kind of things to go be able to look at the enemies and this kind of thing. Floating demon wrapped in a black cape of special gas that allows it to pass through objects. Mephisis appears to its foes as a black demon of death. However, the truth, its physical form is nothing but a tiny coward. While closely related to Mephisto, Boss is leagues more intelligent and cruel. While its tiny, cowardly physical form is unchanged, Boss' capacity for violence makes Mephisto seem like a mere infant. Gunfire can be effective in disrupting the effects of his magical black cloak. Chimera. Man-made demon crossbred from a fish and a sword by the hand of Agnes. Its dorsal fin is sharp. It's a sharp blade capable of cutting through earth and stone alike, allowing a cutlass to traverse these obstacles unhindered. Beware its unseen attack. I'm not gonna read all of these, but there are a few enemies I really like. Frost. Sorry for the yawning. An elite demon served by the Emperor of Demonkind. Frost are all-purpose soldiers used in a variety of situations. Frost engages himself in ice to recover their strength, but quickly destroying their icy cocoon will end this process. Kind of remind me of Rundish a little bit. What does the game have to say about Dante? Son of the legendary Sparta, the devil hunter known as Dante has become a legend in his own right, with his sword, rebellion, and guns of his ebony and ivory by his side. Many demons have come to know Dante's incredible power during his long career. The leader of the Order of the Sword and the one behind all its machinations, pressing the bounds of human power by his ascension ceremony. Unlike other knights, Sanctor's appearance has changed little. However, he has gained incredible demonic power. Chief alchemist of the Order of the Sword, Agnes created both the cutlass and gladius, and is able to control them at his will. Master of a forest home to many demonic mysteries, Echidna scatters its seeds to act as host for further demons. She aims to create a world where demons prosper through her plant-like progeny, appearing to be a dragon. Echidna takes the shape of a woman wrapped in petals. A demon hailing from a cruel circle of the underworld known as the Fire Hell. The otherworldly flames that wrap Barrel's body prevent him from falling victim to the magical machinations of others. However, when these flames are extinguished, Barrel is at a great deal of risk. I would like to see him appear in the DMC anime, like from Netflix. If they're willing to bring back other enemies and stuff, other bosses. Memento given to Dante by his father, this large magical blade is the physical manifestation of Dante's power. Yamato. Katana used by Dante's brother, it is both the key to opening the Hell Gates and to their very destruction. Personally designed by Dante, these pistols are the weapon of choice when rapid fire is necessary. Personally designed by him? What? Unless he had like an actual say in them, but they're created by someone else entirely, if I'm not mistaken. Shotgun firing buckshot has been modified for combat use against demonic foes. Looks like it almost has like a little magazine in there. Just that, like sticking out in front of the trigger, it looks like it has a little mag. I don't want to go through all of this. Our gallery. Today, Dante, provider to McRae, received a request from the beautiful Trish. Was truly a red letter day. For it was the day that he was asked to travel to Mallet Island and combat the demon Emperor Mundus. Just as his father, the legendary Dark Knight Sparta, did ages before, Dante was tasked with sealing away Mundus. Mundus responded to this challenge like any evil puppet master. He sent his subordinates to exterminate Dante's family. Powered with demonic abilities thanks to the blood of Sparta coursing through his veins, Dante set off to perform the Emperor's last rites. After eliminating the demons sent to end his existence, Dante's journey took him to the immense castle set to hold the slumbering Mundus. It was there that he met a demon named Nilo Angelo, the transformed soul of his departed brother Virgil. His brother's plight filled Dante's soul with remorse, and infusing with the power of true son of Sparta, his blazing will drove towards the battle and the battles. Renowned devil hunter born to human mother and legendary Dark Knight Sparta, Dante is the proprietor of Devil May Cry. About special elimination took his hand and the sword's long across his back. There are some who say he's even surpassed his father in power. The mysterious beauty Trish was responsible for requesting Dante seal away the demon-powered Mundus. Closely resembling Dante's departed mother, Trish is actually a demon crafted in that form by Mundus himself. However, in the face of Dante's love, the human heart awoke, and now she works alongside him. The demonic knight who battled Dante 3 occasions, surprisingly he avoided the dirty tricks and improvised methods for which sins are often known for. Through Neolandra's chivalry lies its origins for within. Blah blah. The beautiful Lucisa. I don't know why that name is suddenly hard for me to say. And it was on Dummery Island that Dante met Lucisa's mother, Metier, a woman who once fought alongside Dante's father Sparta in the defense of Dummery Island. Metier hoping that Dante would fill a similar role and help her defend the island against an encroaching evil by discovering the location of an ancient treasure known as Arcana. Lucisa. However, Lucisa found Dante's involvement unwelcome and sought out Arcana alone. The Ouroboros Corporation, which controlled Via de Ma and Ezio heirs, were also after the treasure artifact, although for more nefarious ends. Sorry, I know I'm butchering a lot of stuff. Arius hoped to use Arcana to raise the vile demon Argosax, and by doing so achieve absolute and supreme power. Dante recognized the evil in Arius and fought to put an end to his ambitions. Ushisha suffered at the hands of her cruel fate. Lucia? I don't know. It's within these complicated destinies that evil known as Argosax was brought back into existence. For whatever reason, it's one of those days I need to hear someone else to say it, and then I know how to say it. With age, Dante has become more fearless than ever and has embraced the legacy of his father, Sparta, with the hope of one day living up to the Dark Knight's legend. The prospect of the resurrection of Argosax launched Dante into the underworld to steal the demon away again, just as his father had did before him. She is a member of the clan that has for ages been in charge of defending the faithful of all incarnations of evil. However, he is in fact an artificially created demon, crafted by Ernest's own hand. The truth of her origin weighed heavily upon her. I can't read this in time. I'm not fast enough at reading it. Lucia. Ushisha. A youthful Dante, still unknown to the larger world, saw his life take a fateful turn upon the appearance of the mysterious Arkham. Arkham was merely a messenger at the time, carrying an invitation from Virgil, Dante's brother. Messenger disappearance coincided with the appearance of a massive tower inside the city. The tower was known as something, a portal to the demon world, long ago sealed by the legendary Dark Knight Sparta. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. The man responsible for the resurrection was Dante's twin brother Virgil. Raised separately from Virgil, Dante began his descent up to stop his brother's path forward. That looks like a modern... some of that looks like way more modern renders. Dante's path up was littered with the remains of demons until he met fellow devil hunter, Lady. Her mother slain by her father Arkham, Lady claims to seek revenge for her death. Maybe these renders did exist at the time, I don't feel like I've seen them. Dante and Virgil, Lady and Arkham, two families intertwined by fate, fell on the path to the underworld in Temne Guru. I'm not gonna read these, a little too long. I kind of wish they did it in canon order, so like instead of doing it by the release of the games, does it just loot? Okay, there we go. Oh, goes right there. Just because, like, if you know the lore, then you know that DMC3 is first in terms of chronological story order. Now, there? Shouldn't there be Isn't there a bloody palace option? What's our total ranking looking at? My 1 S rank on level 19. Let's just say I go to this one. I don't know. I think I'm ready to wrap this up, to be quite frank. Unless it's because the version I have is just the standard DMC4 and not the special edition, which, fair. Um, yeah, I think this game is good. Pretty good. Obviously, there was some decisions made, like, above the developers had, and the publishers made some choices that made it a little hard on the devs, I imagine. It does make me wonder though, like, were we initially going to have Nero backtrack then? Like, what was the plan? Because if it was just Nero, it feels like, we might have had 12, 13, 14 missions, something like that, which would still be fairly lengthy, I feel, but like still a little on the shorter end. So I just wonder if the plan was maybe to originally have Nero kind of realize, like, oh, I need to go destroy, like, maybe Dante informs them you need to go destroy the demon towers or whatever, the portals. But then, like, you still have the same thing of, well, now you're still backtracking just as Nero instead of Dante. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to say there. I'm still happy that Dante's included. I still have had a decent amount of fun because this section's pretty short. You get new weapons and swords, melee weapons, like basically every mission for him. Which does keep it definitely cool. Keeps it fast. Um, I enjoyed the music for what it was, like, barring obviously the freaking meme line of "The time has come and so have I" from Nero's song. Enjoyed the music. I think it's a pretty good looking game for 2008 for sure. Definitely on the higher end. I always find the HD games from kind of the early 7th gen just kind of have that, like, the best comparison I could make is just like kind of going through like puberty. Just there's something just a little, like, a lot of, like, a little that always looks a little off with games from this era. Just I don't know if it's just character models more so than environments or anything, but there's always, to me, there's just like a bit of an awkwardness to the early HD games where I don't know if it's just done in in a really weird way, them not being ready to be HD, if that makes sense. I've always said that I think the 6th gen was cut a little short, um, and that the sudden jump, kind of an early jump into HD, I just feel like maybe games weren't quite ready to be in HD, if that makes sense. Um, I don't know. It's could be one of those weird things. I feel by the time you get to like 2009, 2010, I think games are starting to look a lot better in HD or utilize HD better, if that makes sense to any extent. It's This could just be purely be a me thing. It's just there's kind of that awkward phase to me of when gaming switched to HD, when consoles got to HD, that They just look a little off. Um, I sometimes felt with Nero a little bit of staleness, just with the lack of getting new weapons or anything. I think I am partially just I can partially be to blame because I do rely on using a lot of the same attacks. But I also feel just having the lack of a different gun or sword or anything. Uh, Also, like you're trying to add more depth if you're gonna stick with strictly, that. And to be fair, they also gave him the Devil Bringer for like melee attacks and stuff, and the charge up for the blade, his sword. So they were trying to add depth to his kit, which is cool, and that's not a bad thing. I appreciate that. I just can't help but feel some staleness in being limited in that way. I think just DMC has kind of made it a big thing, like part of its identity to have different melee weapons and ranged options, right? So overall, I do think this is a pretty good game. Um, I mean, I think right now I can pretty safely place it above 2 and 1. Hard to put it above 3. Probably not. I think 3 definitely has a more engaging story, and also like I'm pretty sure I played 3 just on its standard difficulty, right? Granted, that game's a little more unclear about which one's the hard mode and which one isn't. Granted, I think the only difference isn't it to do with like whether you restart the whole mission or you restart at a checkpoint, something like that. I can't remember, but this game is also very easy. Like you guys saw me absolutely destroy those bosses a lot of the times. They rarely gave me any kind of challenge. So I definitely have to like knock it down. Like on one sense, for if you're a new Devil May Cry fan, you'll get into this pretty easily. And I don't think you'll get too frustrated. But on the other hand, definitely if you were I since Devil May Cry went multi-platform with DMC4 because like the first 3 are on PlayStation 2. Um in a sense I can kind of see that maybe being something they were trying to factor in is that they are having a new group of players coming in potentially for the first time, or that maybe they only ever sampled a DMC game. So making it on the easier side, I can definitely see that, but I think they went too far in that direction, making it too easy. I mean, any deaths I had, I felt like were more to do with either the challenges, the secret missions, or in like the very last case, just me not understanding fully what to do. And my health was already somewhat kind of low from the boss fight before that. But like outside of really the secret missions, like I don't think I ever died. This game is very easy on human mode, um, which is double-edged sword because, like I said, great for newcomers. But if you had played the previous 3 games and were wanting more of a challenge, especially DMC3, because DMC3 kicked my ass on several occasions. So definitely, this game being on the easier side, I do not like. Kind of hurts it. I do feel. I think there is a difficulty above the Devil Hunter or whatever, but I still feel like they could have started with a medium difficulty that would have been more challenging than what just human is, and then you could have had the easy option. But I definitely feel just the standard difficulty could have been bumped up a little bit in terms of difficulty for sure. Unless the game wants you, unless the game wants the human mode to be seen as the easy difficulty, then sure, I guess. But I don't. Again, I think they could have had a little bit more challenge, enemies doing a bit more damage, bosses being a little more aggressive. Like especially the first boss, he is so passive for like no reason. A lot of the bosses, I think that's a good way to put it. Like a lot of the bosses are just so easy in their first phase and don't get much harder in their second phase. They get more aggressive typically, but they don't really deal a lot more damage or um and are only fairly more aggressive, it feels like. This recording session just hit a little over 5 hours. It's almost 12:30 p.m. my time. So I think this would be a good time to end this. Yeah, I kind of didn't start recording this with the idea that I would beat it today. It's kind of just make more progress, but this does mean that when I come back, we will be playing the reboot game, and it's like one I actually have history with in terms of watching a full playthrough of it. So that will be very interesting to finally sample that game or play it for myself after over 10 years. You know, I watched it when it was a brand new game, so it would be very interesting for me. Um, I should again thank you to Ghost Cabbits. They're the maker of this model. Thank you to SnowHusky, who did the VRM work and the retexture. Thank you to Antifreeze, who's doing thumbnails. I can let him know that the DMC reboot needs to be made now. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, ciao for now. Bye.